How's it going, everybody? It's Young here with a Death Stranding news update. The following information comes from MTV, who conducted an interview with Walking Dead star Norman Reedus during Comic-Con 2016 on July 25th, 2016. Yup, this information is a couple months old, but I never noticed it until it was pointed out to me by Anthony Benavides, who recently gave me the heads up about it, so before I begin, I want to say thank you to Anthony. During the interview, one of the topics that came up was actually Death Stranding. The interviewer inquired a bit about this video game trailer that Norman was in, where he was all naked and holding a baby and whatnot. Norman's response ended up being more interesting than I anticipated, offering an interesting clue if you listen closely. Check it out.
Well, the other thing I wanted to mention is this video game you're in, this trailer that it was basically like you're naked holding a baby. Explain yourself. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, that we were talking about this last night. That I had dinner with him last night and his team, and that guy, like, he's such a genius, and I'm just doing whatever he says, you know. And he's like, we're gonna make people cry. And I'm like, for a video game? And he's like, yep. And I was like, all right. And then he goes, and I go, playing me? And he goes, no, they'll be you. And I was like, I'm just doing whatever he says. I mean, I showed him the trailer, and that guy's just such a genius, and he keeps explaining more and more in depth. It's I don't know how that guy's mind, but you know, I met him through Guillermo del Toro, who has that same sort of brilliant mind. Of course, I would do a dog food commercial with both of them. Yeah, does not matter.
I would watch a Guillermo del Toro dog food commercial.
It would be terrifying.
That's a fucking great idea.
It's okay. There's been a lot of profanity.
Great idea.
Yeah, I'm just following his lead. He's the man.
Nice.
So aside from Norman Reedus' constant praise on how Kojima is just a genius and how he's basically just following Kojima's lead, one of the things that stood out to me was Norman's statement regarding the nature of his character and the role that players will serve in this game. According to Norman, Kojima told him that he's going to make players cry through Death Stranding, and when Norman asked if that will happen as players play as his character, Kojima replied with, "No, they'll be you."
And I go, playing me? And he goes, no, they'll be you.
It's a very clear distinction that has to be made. It almost sounds like Kojima's setting up Norman's character to be a representation of the player rather than just a character they play as. And if you've been following Death Stranding and that sounds familiar to you, that's because Kojima said something to that effect regarding the Kojima Productions mascot Ludens. Check out this clip from Kojima's E3 2016 pre-Death Stranding reveal interview.
There was an image you put out last week where a lot of people were wondering, like, oh, who's the character there? And people were like, is that Norman Reedus? Who is it? Can you tell us anything about who that character is?
So everyone was thinking that inside this helmet there was this skull. However, it was not a skull, but a person wearing a skull. Now, who's this person? That's everyone. That's us. That's the users. That's each one of us wearing that mask inside that skull mask. That's what I wanted to show.
Oh, so it's all of us inside of there.
It's us, it's you, the players, it's everyone.
So Kojima has not only stated that Ludens is a representation of players and gamers in general, he has also apparently told Norman that players will be his character, not just play as him. What if this is further hinting that there is indeed some kind of connection between Norman Reedus' character and Ludens, even if Kojima has denied time and again that Ludens will be in the game? I would also like to point out just how similar this is to MGS5's marketing campaign. Remember when Kojima was asked after GDC 2013's trailer about the third man in the hospital scene who we now know to be Venom Snake? He replied that it's just him looking into the world.
Now, as we go through the trailer, there's an interesting moment at the beginning where you see what seems like three people on the bed, because it feels like you're seeing from someone's perspective. And then at the end there's a line, well, what about him? And you're cut out. Who is that third character that we're seeing from his perspective at the beginning? Is that a new character or someone that we know from the Metal Gear universe?
That's actually me. That's Hideo Kojima. So, in a way, I'm a phantom as well, and I'm looking at Snake and Kaz, and as an old game designer, I'm looking at my creations and they're wondering, hey, are you dead? But I'm still there.
If you think about it, that was a half-truth in the sense that Venom is a representation of the player. So from the perspective of Kojima directing and playing through his game, he actually wasn't lying when you consider Venom Snake's true nature. What if something similar is happening with Death Stranding? To further corroborate this theory, allow me to show you a clip from Kojima's Comic-Con 2016 panel with Jeff Keighley, where he was asked about the identity of Ludens. Here's what Kojima had to say about the matter.
A lot of people, when they first saw this, wondered, oh, is that Norman Reedus' face in there? Whose face is in there?
Actually, yesterday when we were with Norman Reedus asked me like, yeah, we were having dinner with Norman Reedus. I said like, hey Hideo, so that's my suit and that's what I wear in the game and battle with it. And that's not the case. I mean, this is unrelated to the game. This is the Kojima Productions company icon. For the face, the person inside actually it's Hideo himself. The date of his face, the scan of his face. So this year, at the end of January, we were with and we went to this, also to the studios that Sony has here in San Diego, and there they captured my the 3D data of my face for testing, and that same test data is what we used to put under this.
で、スタッフのとこ行くと僕の顔が
That's
その
your
まま出てるんで、いや、
face?
ここであまりにも気持ち悪いんでちょっと直せっていうことで、かなり修正加えたのがこれ。
And the thing is, it got really creepy, but because every time I went with my staff, I saw my face in there, so it was creepy. So I asked them to modify it a little bit.
もうね、わざと僕の顔を出してるんですよ。
And the thing is, they intentionally put it out like I'm coming close, and they put my face in there, so I can see it, and yeah, it got creepy.
So basically, Kojima's claiming that the man behind Luden's mask was actually modeled after his own face, although it was later modified because Kojima found it creepy to see his own face looking back at him from his logo's mascot. That's what he claims. But what if there's more to the story than that? If it were that simple, why not just remove the mask and show us once and for all the face behind the mask? Why all the cloak and dagger? While Kojima has denied time and again that Ludens has nothing to do with Death Stranding, what if this is yet another form of misdirection or a half-truth akin to a statement about the third man in Phantom Pain's hospital cutscene? Similarly to the way he answered questions about Venom, he said that Ludens is actually just him, and prior to that he mentioned that Ludens is a representation of the player, which is what Venom was in Phantom Pain. And now I've found out from Norman Reedus himself that his character will apparently be the player rather than just a character we play as, according to Kojima. All signs seem to point that there is more of a connection between Ludens and Norman's character than Kojima's letting on, and that overall, there's more to things than meets the eye, which is just classic Kojima. This also raises interesting questions like how will Norman's character be handled so that it feels like we're actually being him rather than like we're just looking through him? What crazy ideas does Kojima have in mind for this character and the way we interact with the world through him? Is this all part of the stick and rope idea that he keeps talking about? With how little information we have at the moment, your guess is as good as mine. But I figured this was an interesting bit of information that Norman let slip that I thought was worth sharing. I think it might have a lot to say in the future about the direction that Kojima is headed with this game and Norman Reedus' character and Ludens and whatnot. But while we wait for more information on the highly anticipated title, I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter. What do you think Norman's statement about what Kojima told him about his character means? Do you think this indicates that there is some kind of connection between Ludens and Norman's character? Is this another case of misdirection or half-truths? Let us know in the comments below, and to be further updated on Death Stranding news, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!